Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been working with Sender Cow, who promote some fantastic agricultural techniques, specifically for small-scale agriculture in Uganda. And as part of that scheme, we've had farmers coming over here every year to talk to our staff, and particularly to talk to local school children and explain how food's produced in Uganda. And this year we've got Charles. So this is Charles, who's been with us for about a week, hosting some school visits, and one of the things he's been teaching them about is these bag gardens that they use a lot in Uganda. So why not just plant in the soil? Why do you use the bag garden?
Yes, we use bag gardens because we have small land. Our land is not big. So we find some people, they have 2 acres, 3 acres, but they want to grow more vegetables. Let's call it.
It's actually a great way for people in England who have a small space. Maybe if they live in a flat and they've got a balcony, this would be a good way of growing.
Yes, it can help them very well. This is a keyhole garden. It's also a type of garden. We make it to make space useful. It's used just to keep hygiene in Uganda. All kitchen waste, we bring them and we put it here. This is compost basket. Yeah, it helps the plants to get good nutrients from this basket.
That'll rot down and you'll water through there.
Yes.
And that'll take the nutrients out and feed the crops.
Yes. On a keyhole garden, all vegetables, they have good leaves, very nice.
I've got to tell you, Charles, those are the leaves we'd throw away. But then we're so wasteful, aren't we? The English will just eat these tiny little bits here.
Okay.
The sprouts.
Oh.
But I know these will taste perfectly good, and I remember eating them in Uganda, and they taste really. You'd call this kale, would you?
Yeah, we call it kale.
Yeah.
In Uganda, we eat this.
Yeah.
We don't eat small leaves. We eat this.
That's much more sensible.
Yeah.
It's been great having Charles here this week, and I think Charles has kind of maybe picked up a few tips about planning a business and about management. And I think for us, I mean, actually there's a lot for British farmers to learn from Ugandan farmers, because we can't carry on farming the way we are, which is so incredibly oil dependent. Even organic farmers, the way we farm is totally dependent on a depleted resource. And to hear Charles talk about managing the soil and the compost in his livestock, and to talk with such knowledge and enthusiasm, and I would say actually love, for the soil, is something that I think is really lacking in British farmers, and I think we've got a lot to learn. And the way that they mix crops up, it's much more efficient. Problem for us as UK farmers is that I think someone in the UK earns about 50 times as much per day as they do in Uganda, which obviously puts a tremendous pressure to do things in a way which is efficient in terms of labour, but is actually very inefficient in terms of depleted resources. So we do a lot of things with machinery. If I loved the soil as much as Charles, I probably couldn't bring myself to drive a 3-ton tractor across it. So anyway, I think that we've both got things to learn from each other.